You're listening to a 95BFM podcast.
Ata Maria e te whānau, 95BFM Breakfast with Rachel.
Ata Maria e te whānau, e whakarongo ana koutou, ki te reo irirangi, iwa te kaumarima BFM, ko rahira ahau, ko te whetū karaka i te ata, nau mai haere mai ki te hōtaka Parakuwahi. Morena, welcome along to the 95BFM Breakfast Show for Wednesday, the 21st of July. Kia ora Zoe, how are you?
Kia ora, I'm good. You're back.
I'm back. Thank you.
Before we were like tricking everyone with the intro.
It's me, fake me. No, thank you very much for holding it down, and a huge thank you to Keria and Amelia as well for being general all-round excellent sorts. Morena to you, Rob, how are you?
Yeah, terrific.
Terrific.
Yeah, brilliant.
Excellent. We've got a very good show lined up this morning. Of course, Rob will be taking us into the mine trench. Where are we going? What are we talking about today?
All I'll tell you is, I've got one of my favourite bunch of researchers, Max Planck Institute. I've got another
All
thing
right.
from them. Just love
Excellent.
that. They have the best Christmas parties ever.
Nice.
So that'll be the mine trench. But before then, we have got Marama Davidson, co-leader of the Green Party, speaking to us this morning. We'll be talking a little bit about Putiki Bay. We'll be talking about the government's sort of recent comments around China and hacking and stuff like this. So it's a big one. It's a bit of a weird one. We're going to have a bit of a chat about that and a few other things as well, including flooding down south and on the west. So some big topics there. Shepherd's Rain are going to be in the studio.
Very cool.
Very excited about this. The most awesome metal heavy Pacifica band ever. They're going to be here chatting about their music. They've got a gig coming up very soon. And we have got Tim Batt later on and Word Salad with Amelia Discreet. So lots of good stuff. A couple of good prizes as well to give away today too. So if you have a B card, you better keep it handy. We're going to kick it all off with some Girl Friday. This is their new single, double A side, You're Getting a Dog.
I saw your auntie on the street. I said, you want a divorce? She said, a meteor is coming for the earth. I said, of course. There ain't no use in saving or behaving. La 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 la. You make it seem like I don't even know your name. BFM.
Such a gorgeous track. This is Sophia Cortesis with La Perla. That came out a few months ago. I heard it on Sarah's show on the weekend again, though, and I had to Shazam it because I was like, what is this song? I know what this song is, and it's a mint one. So I hope you enjoyed that. Very beautiful song there. We're going to have another beautiful song now by Megabog, which is still one of my favourite band names of all time. She has got a record on the way pretty soon, in fact. This is the most recent single. It is called Maybe You Died, and it is weird and wonderful, and definitely sits her in the sort of same strange realm as people like Kate Le Bon and Tim Presley and all those sort of art punks that hang out around LA. That is Megabog with Maybe You Died. That is from her new record, which will actually be out in 2 days. I thought it was coming out next month, but good news for us, it is coming out on the 23rd of July via Paradise of Bachelors, and it's going to be called Life and Another. Suitably sort of mysterious name for a very mysterious, weird and wonderful artist. Megabog, based in LA. If you want to go and check out the other tracks that she has released, they sort of run the gamut from that kind of weird and mysterious sounding song to quite like a raucous upbeat guitar-y track as well, and sort of everything in between. I'm really looking forward to it. I loved her last record, Dolphine, which sounded more like the song we just listened to, but I think that this new one's going to be quite upbeat in parts as well, so I think it'll be one to keep an eye on if you liked the sound of that or any other Megabog track you've heard on this show in the last wee while. Ka hoki mai anō mātou amiri I tēnei. We're going to be back after the break with a wake-up call for you if you do need a little bit of a kickstart this morning. I'm glad that was a good sunrise track for you. Someone's just texted in saying that the sun coming up over the East Coast bays is spectacular right now, and that was the perfect accompaniment. Yay, I love it when that happens. I'm glad that was a good one.
Swap the hard stuff for mental clarity and performance this dry July with Arepa, New Zealand's #1 brain drink. Caffeine-free, plant-based and clinically tested, Arepa is proven by neuroscience to keep you calm and thinking clear when you need it most. Arepa, 100% natural effects you can feel. The world's smartest brain food. Found in all good supermarkets or buy online at drinkarepa.com.
So my school is the kind of school that wants to grow good humans. We serve about 400 kids here in our local primary school. It's very community focused. And when COVID-19 came along, it was really disruptive to our kids' learning. I mean, sure, kids can learn to read and write through a screen, but the most important learning that we do at our school is teaching kids how to collaborate, how to problem solve, be critical thinkers. The COVID-19 vaccine will be awesome because we'll be able to plan ahead with certainty and really give this community and its kids the teaching environment that they deserve.
For teachers like Caitlin Van Bellicom, the stronger our immunity, the greater our possibilities. Find out more at covid19.govt.nz/vaccines.
Not all bread is created equal. In fact, some bread is pretty shit. You might as well be spreading your Marmite on a chocolate bar. Bread and Butter's sourdough is real bread, using ancient techniques and organic and regeneratively grown ingredients. Choose substance over speed. Choose age and beauty. Check out their online delivery options or head in store for brunch, great coffee and more homemade pastries than you can shake a baguette at. Bread and Butter, the best sourdough in town. breadandbutter.nz.
Yeah, hey mate. Sign outside says you sell alarm clocks.
Take your pick, my friend.
There's just chickens here.
Organic alarm clocks.
That's roosters.
Woo! PC police over here.
Start your day off over easy with the 95 BFM Wake Up Call. A smooth tune lovingly selected by Rachel herself every weekday on breakfast. The 95 BFM Wake Up Call. Thanks to Shaky Isles Coffee.
Well, this one's very butch.
Hey, that's us, and that is this.
Rise and shine. The 95 BFM Wake Up Call. Thanks to Shaky Isles Coffee.
Thank you, Shaky Isles. We've got some Eve 2 more for you this morning. They just released a surprise EP over the weekend, which was extremely good news. It's called The Asymptotic World. I did have to Google what asymptotic means, and it said of or relating to an asymptote, which is not that helpful.
I don't know what an asymptote... I've already forgotten the word.
Asymptote is it's a maths thing, apparently. A straight line approached by a given curve is one of the variables in an equation of the curve approaches infinity.
Let's do this after the wake-up call.
This track is called Crushed Velvet. The EP is awesome, as you'd expect from Eve 2 more. If you want to win some coffee, a coffee mug and a bag of coffee, thanks to Shaky Isles, text in your name, your B card number after the word coffee to 5395 right now.
Best friend
Extremely cool new track from Eve Two More. That is Crushed Velvet. That is from The Asymptotical World, which is a new EP released over the weekend. Surprise release, literally no fanfare around it, but you can buy it on a physical copy if you hit up your local record store. I think it is getting a 12-inch release or a 3x7-inch box set, which sounds pretty sick. So maybe hit up your local record store if you want to add that one to your collection. It's a very, very cool record, as you'd expect from Eve Two More.
The 95BFM wake-up call. Thanks to Shaky Isles Coffee.
Thank you, Shaky Isles, and thanks to all of you texting in for the coffee prize, a bag of coffee and a 95BFM Shaky Isles collaboration coffee mug. Extremely cool. You can text in anytime we play the wake-up call this week, and we'll be drawing the winner on Friday. This is Mata TK with Mo Windows. Mata TK's gig on Friday was insanely good. So special.
Must have been love that brought me here. Out the hood of my early years. The hood child don't know tears. You can tell him by the clothes he wears. I have it all and I had you here. Gold dreams, I hold you near. You're standing at the top of the stairs. In a minute I'll be right there. Whoa. Sha-la-la-la-la-la. Looking at my red window. Sha-la-la-la-la-la. Red window. Sha-la-la-la-la-la. Sha-la-la-la-la.
If you want that beautiful Mata TK track in your life, you can get it only at the YGB Guided Meditation Bandcamp. The whole guided meditation mixtape is $10 or more. If you can afford more, I would encourage you to pay more because all the money is going to a very good cause. It is to help Christoph El Truento's brother, who is unwell at the moment, come back to New Zealand to recuperate. There's a lot of excellent music on that mixtape from artists that we love here at BFM, so it's a good reason to go and get it in and of itself. But yeah, it's going to a very good cause, that money there as well. Mata TK's gig was just like insane. I think probably one of my favourite gigs I've been to this year. It was like otherworldly. Felt like I'd sort of stepped out of my body for an hour and a half. It was fantastic. If anyone else went, I'd love to know what you thought of it. 5395. You can text me. I'd like to hear your thoughts. We'll be back very, very soon chatting with Rick Breeze, of course, about what's happening in the weather, and also speaking with co-leader of the Greens Party, Marama Davidson, too. So lots of good stuff to get stuck into this morning.
BFM News headlines.
Whaiakine coming up in the news on the hour. Companies involved in the Whakaare White Island eruption are receiving government funding. Exporters are concerned that trade may suffer from the hacking accusations of China. The rollout of the Pfizer vaccine has begun in the Pacific territory of Takulou. And Jeff Bezos has successfully launched into suborbit in his new Shepard rocket ship. Whakarono tonu mai, stay tuned for these stories in full and more on the hour.
No one wants billionaires in space, not a single person, except for maybe them.
True.
Mummy, look what Buster did. It smells different from mine.
Oh, honey, put that down. Dog poo is not a toy. Come on, let's go get you cleaned up.
Keep your kids' curiosity buzzing with Motat's July school holiday experience, Wow Science.
With exhibits on the science of poo, why planes fly, 3D printing and more, satisfy your child's appetite to learn about the world around them, no matter their age.
Wow Science, 10th to the 25th of July. General admission applies. Find out more at motat.nz.
Oh, what a beautiful moment. The sun's setting all purple and gold.
You can still see where your dad hired a plane to skywrite. Actually, I am proud of you.
Yeah. I wish I had somewhere to capture this memory. Just, a static image to immortalise this moment.
Look, 1,000 butterflies.
Take a picture. It'll last longer. And whatever your level, you'll take better ones with Pro Gear. 100% camera, 0% bullshit. Pro Gear, 3 Railway Street, Newmarket, or go to progear.co.nz.
Hakarongo mai, it's Māori words, because he waka eke noa.
Kia tūpato. Be careful.
Well, here I go on my adventure to save the world and rescue the princess. Wish me luck.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
This is just a piece of paper that says Kia tūpato.
Yeah, good advice there.
Okay.
Kia tūpato. Be careful.
Māori words, karawhiua. Give it a go.
All right. Spot time, I reckon.
Yo, keen. Got any utensils? We'll sacrifice some, eh? We're going to need a vessel too. I'll scull the last of the sparkling duet.
Wait.
Yeah, spot's on!
Whoa, no, I mean the beer spot, Amazing independent NZ beer.
Ah, the legal buzz. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I knew you meant that. It's just... Yeah.
95 BFM Drive with Johnny and Big Hungry. A fully legal 3-hour psychedelic playground of japes, jives and jams. 4 to 7 p.m. every weekday on 95 BFM. Thanks to the Beer Spot, your tappy place.
Rick Breeze weather. Rick Breeze weather. There's no hot air on. Rick Breeze weather. Rick Breeze weather.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rick Breeze. Morena, Rick.
Morena.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Excellent. What's happening in the weather today?
We got some showers and rain on the way. Pretty decent big trough moving through the Tasman Sea and towards us. Quite active out there actually, with quite a few thunderstorms in the Tasman, probably reflecting that it's still a bit above average sea temperature out there, as much as anything else, and reasonably active jet stream across the North Tasman as well. We've got a warm front on the way first, and that's sort of showing up with a gradually rising temperature over the last few hours. The breeze has started to pick up from the north-northeasterly direction, and really nice colour in the sky from the sunrise, and the cat that really wants to be standing on my paper.
Very helpful.
So that moving in, as I say, just showers developing, and then later on some rain. Should be a reasonably warm temperature today, getting up to sort of 16-ish degrees. Currently on 10.6, has been down to 7 overnight. As we get through into the week, showers hanging around tomorrow. Some of that upper level trough moves across as well, so just a slight chance of some thundery showers in there tomorrow. Then the area of high pressure moves in behind it. Anticyclone moving across the country, a little bit more over the north than the south, but that moves through Friday. Saturday it's out to the east, and bringing in an easterly, or the start of an easterly as we get through Saturday, Sunday. Then another very broad and quite decent trough comes through at the end of the weekend, and into the beginning of next week should bring us a bit of rain, a little bit of moisture fed from the north, not quite as much with an area of high pressure building across there, but still could get a reasonable amount of rain out of it, and a bit of strong wind for a while, as well as a low starts to form up in that trough as it crosses the country, mostly to the south, but good wind field between that and the high to the north. So forecast for today: increasing cloud with developing showers and some later rain, fresh north-northeasterly winds turning north-northwesterly as the day goes on. It's jumping all over me. High 16 degrees, overnight low around about 11 to 12 degrees. Thursday, mostly then partly cloudy with showers at just, like I say, a chance of thunder. West-northwesterly going southwesterly, but a lot lighter at that point. Friday, mostly fine with increasing sunny periods and a cool night. Light south-southwesterly. Saturday, fine and cooler with sunny periods and some cloud, overnight showers. Light winds will become an easterly, and like I said, there's a slight chance of some fog early on Saturday, or like I said yesterday anyway. Sunday, mostly cloudy and cool with a few showers and possible later rain, fresh east to northeasterly. Monday, cloudy and a bit warmer with rain and heavier showers. Fresh to strong northeasterly, becoming northwesterly. And Tuesday, partly and mostly cloudy with a few showers and a light westerly.
All right, well, thank you very much for that one, Rick.
All righty.
And your trusty sidekick, Willa, as well. Getting right in the way there, I'm sure.
He is rolling around all over things. Yeah.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the lovely sunrise, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Yep, will do.
See you then.
See you then.
Wow, lucky I'm wearing a sweater. Thanks, Rick Breeze.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you to the person who texted in, I want billionaires in space as long as they keep going. Maybe we should have a no returns policy. Once you're off, you're off. I'm just joking. Mostly. This is Proteins of Magic's beautiful new track, Hopeful Symphony. If you missed her incredible performance at Drive Island, jump in the B-casts and listen back.
I've been
That is Proteins of Magic with her beautiful new track, Hopeful Symphony.
It's time for What's Up with Green Party co-leader Marama Davidson.
Morena, how are you this morning, Marama Davidson?
Morena, Rachel, I'm really good, thank you. I'm really pleased to have a kōrero with you all this morning.
Me too. We've got some big ones to talk about today as well. We're going to talk about the flooding that's happening on the west coast. Also, a little bit about China and New Zealand and the recent sort of conversations that have been happening there around hacking. But I want to start with Putiki Bay, which is something that has been a big topic nationally, but in Auckland in particular. This is the very hotly debated marina that is going into Kennedy Point or Putiki Bay, and the protest efforts to stop that from happening. The main reason being that the iwi in the area would like to be able to express their kaitiakitanga of the space and protect the korora, the little blue penguins that nest in the rocks there. Their main calls are for a halt in works, and we've seen some pretty big escalations in a police presence over the last week, with reports of over 100 police officers showing up to arrest 4 kaitiaki in the space. What is happening from a political perspective here? Because there has been quite a lot of silence from the council and from central government around this, and it's bringing up these conversations that we've heard from Ihu Mātao in the last year. What's going on here?
Listen, Rachel, this is actually a pattern around the motu, around Aotearoa, where we have got laws and regulations that unfortunately have long favoured wealthy developers instead of the local community, Te Tiriti and mana whenua, and the environment and natural habitats and species. And this is at the core of all of the raruraru that is happening. And it's a very divisive, systemic flaw that sets up groups against each other. It sets up people even within iwi and mana whenua with differing views on how to approach this really volatile situation. So this is essentially what we are dealing with, is for far too long we have had developers and people with wealth and power being able to undermine the local community voice, the tiriti, justice, mana whenua decision-making, and especially as kaitiaki, as you've highlighted, and it has been able to override environmental protections. So that's absolutely it in a nutshell. I'm really clear. Our Māori and Pacific caucus in the Greens, which we call Te Mātā Waka, which is led by our Māori and Pacific MPs, myself, Dr. Elizabeth Kirikiri, Te Anau Tuiono, and our treaty spokesperson, Jen Logie. We have been visiting and listening on the ground to these occupations around the whole country. Of course, Ihu Mātao was a big one for us, but actually we've been to Great Barrier, to Aotea, we've been to Raglan, we've been, of course, to Putiki. We were a strong presence at Ihu Mātao. We've been to Shelley Bay, Maraikuku in Wellington, and others around the country. And we are, and then there's the Mahia Bay Rocket Lab, and this is a strategy led by Te Mātā Waka about addressing both the concerns on the ground, the environmental protections, and pushing for the systemic change in the laws so that we can actually put people and the environment first.
So this is a constitutional issue, and as you say, we're seeing this come up time and time again. What needs to change to get to a point where we're seeing better representation of diverse voices on these discussions around resource consent and environmental protections? Because one thing that I guess people would say in defence of what's happening with the development of the marina is that it's been through every level of court.
It's been through all the courts.
Yeah.
Including the Environment Court. It's been through the local government. It has been through all of the processes. It has been through the hearings, the resource management consents, etc., etc. Now, what that means then is that the system is flawed, is that the laws are not strong enough to protect. You know, it's not just about the korora. When I was on the ground there a couple of weeks ago, we were listening to the locals and mana whenua actually telling us about it's the entire ecosystem in Putiki Bay, which includes seabirds, marine life, the dolphins who come in there. many different seabirds, and of course all of the entire ecosystem in that particular habitat. Now, what you will often see, which is what we saw at Uhumātao, which is what we're seeing here at Putiki, which is what we're seeing in Aotea, the dumping, is the developers and the companies will say, we have put a protection plan in place according to the rules. And two things happen. One, the rules are not strong enough to put the proper protections in place. Two, they say they are doing that protection work, and in reality they actually are not. Now, DOC have been expressing some frustration that they are not sure whether there have been the correct wildlife releases and wildlife protection put in place in the case of the korora in particular. And so, they are trying to monitor and get an understanding of what is actually happening as well. But this is what's at stake here. If the protection laws are actually not strong enough, and that's why these things get through all the courts, people are left only with the option action at the end of all of that.
So is that really the only option that there is at the moment for that community? Because if it has gone through every level of the court, how do we get some sort of resolution here? What is the options available?
I mean, this is why the Greens have always supported direct action, is because that is how we can also try and get some high-level change. And we saw that with Uhumātao, over years. They were able to occupy and direct action strategy. They brought mandates, they increased the public awareness of what was happening, and they got an outcome that was a peaceful resolution that, was satisfactory to the different parties. And I think this is what we are seeing around the country, people inspired both by that and the longer history of direct action and peaceful protest that we have in Aotearoa. I mean, Ōkahu and Ngāti Whātua is another example.
From within the government, though, is there anything that can be done, particularly by Green MPs?
Yeah, and this is, again, we played a massive role in the government needing to step up and show its hand. The day that myself, Jan Logie, Goris Garaman and Chloe Swarbrick went to Uhumātao, it created such a public awareness on that occupation that very night the Prime Minister was forced to call a halt in the development. This is a role that Green MPs are continuing to do around the country, both bearing witness, hearing directly on the ground from the people involved what is actually happening, and then pushing for change behind the scenes, whether that's foreseen another review of laws. We, for example, have actually improved the laws around the Dome Valley tip situation, where you were not able to make a decision to properly protect mana whenua and the environment, and we've now changed the law. Post that decision, we were able to improve those laws. So yes, there are things that we can also do in the hallways of power as well as on the ground.
Well, let's talk quickly, because we're running out of time, but I do want to touch on our other topics as well. Let's talk about this flooding that we're seeing down in the west of the South Island, and this is the second time basically in this season that we've talked about this terrible, once in however many years kind of flooding we're seeing. This is linked to climate change. This is linked to ongoing environmental problems. Do you think we need to be seeing managed retreat as an option that's happening for these spaces down there? Some of these communities are really vulnerable to this ongoing climate catastrophe, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, my first thoughts, of course, are with those who are at the forefront of these extreme weather events that upset people's livelihood, people's stress and emotional well-being, and displace people, and really put people in a really unstable position, both mentally, emotionally and physically. And our scientists and our Indigenous peoples have long predicted these sorts of events. Look, let's acknowledge storms have happened before, yes, but the issue here is the intensity, severity and the frequency of them. And so this, we need urgent climate action. Managed retreat is definitely one of the options that needs to be on the table. I think the overall principle, though, Rachel, is a just transition, having a look at what the different mitigation and adaptation processes are, and what do we need to support the people with the least resource and power who are impacted the most to be able to have a sense of stability and security in their lives. And that's asking all of us to step up and collectively support a plan to reduce our emissions and to adapt to climate change. And that's what my colleague James Shaw intends to introduce before the end of the term.
With the particular communities that have been affected by this flooding incident here, we're seeing, the potential for this to be devastating for people's livelihoods, their homes, their farms. These are huge impacts on people's lives. What is the support that we need to see in an ongoing sense for these communities? Because this is not going to necessarily be a quick fix.
Yeah, there's immediate support that is going to be necessary. What do they need right this minute, whether that's for clean-up, whether that's for rescue, animal welfare. So there's immediate support. What do families need right this minute? Children especially, and the welfare. And then there's the sort of, medium and long-term transition support. We are going to have to question how sustainable our different industries are, that includes how sustainable, how do we get around our transport and public transport, that includes our city infrastructure, and that includes our farming and agricultural practices. So we're going to have to look at a plan to move into a way of life that can withstand these weather events, that can hold families together with the increase in these threats that come to us.
Let's just very briefly talk about this announcement we've seen from the government. The New Zealand government is joined in with other Western allied countries condemning China, accusing the government of responsibility for these hacking attacks we've seen recently in the country. This is quite a strong position from the government, given there's been quite a bit of, accusations of fence sitting or not wanting to take sides around condemning the actions from China in recent times. What's your take on this? Do you think this is a big change? Do you think this is something that we've seen building up for a while? And what do you expect might be the fallout from this?
Yeah, well, the Greens have always been very clear that we should always maintain a truly independent foreign policy and do what's right for New Zealand. We've maintained that since the start of the Green Party, no matter who it is, whether it's China, whether it's the US, the UK, or any other countries who are trying to use their global power hand over other countries who might have less resource, less power. And this is a situation that the Greens have always maintained for these very instances that can arise. And for my caucus, we haven't discussed this particular issue yet. Of course, we've all been on recess recently and haven't been together. But in principle, I just stand by us always wanting to have a truly independent foreign policy, not one that prioritises necessarily our trade links, but one that prioritises the sustainable future for our people, for our planet, and all of the resources that we need for our livelihoods and our well-being. That isn't necessarily the way that New Zealand has operated, and we're finally starting to see a move in that sort of direction. Although in saying that, I see that we are joining other countries in condemning China. Yep, that's fine. But again, I want us to be wary of our independent foreign policy, that we act on behalf of our people and our country and our land and water, instead of thinking about trade and other powers.
Well, thank you so much for your time this morning. Marama Davidson, it's always great to have you on the show. We'll talk to you again in a few weeks. Kia pai tōra. Have a lovely rest of your day.
Kia pai tōra, Rachel. Thank you very much. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
That was What's Up with Green Party co-leader Marama Davidson.
Thank you very much to Minister Davidson for speaking with us this morning. Thank you as well for your messages on 5395. It's great to hear your thoughts. You can text them through or give us a call if you feel like it. 309 3879. We'll be back after this.
Hey, what's a 7-letter word for Street Fighter?
What? No idea.
Okay, what about treasure trunks in 6?
What does that even mean?
Shit, you're useless. Don't you know anything?
Ooh, well, I know tonight at Ponsonby Social Club there's Pateco Beats with Enrique Morales, Miguel BD and Lance Bentley, plus DJ Bobby Brazuca.
Oh, go on.
And tomorrow, a tribute to Erica Badu, performed by members of Avondale Bowling Club and Yokozuna, followed by Elk Nose and Mia Paris.
Sweet as.
Same old Ponsonby Social Club, 152 Ponsonby Road.
Don't stop when your period starts. The Lunette menstrual cup is the easy, hygienic, reusable alternative to pads and tampons.
Convenient and comfortable, it's made from 100% hypoallergenic medical silicone. Lunette is safe, smooth and sustainable.
Great for you, great for the planet, great for your wallet. Live life to the fullest, all month, every month, with the Lunette menstrual cup. All it takes is the first step.
Go to lunette.co.nz. That's lunette.co.nz.
Tree huggers,
Planet lovers,
fashion disruptors.
get ready for less waste, more love.
With Outlive. Outlive redesigns and upcycles pre-loved clothing and textiles into rad, unique, one-of-a-kind bags. Teaming up with like-minded local charities like Sea Cleaners means that with every Outlive bag, more goes back into the community, inspiring conscious change through regenerative fashion.
Outlive. Eco-friendly, slow fashion handbags, purses and totes.
Go to outlive.co or find them on Facebook and Insta at Outlive Official.
It's music.
95.
We're an underground radio station here, and we bring the truth.
Doesn't matter who I tell, the government box stop on shelf.
The original originator. Go to 95bfm.com for show podcasts.
All right, folks, we'll be back after the news, talking all things weird and wonderful in the Mind Trench with Rob Bollocks today. We've got plenty of tunes for you, and we have also got Shepherd's Rain coming into the studio. So a big old morning here on the B, plus a few prizes as well. So keep your B cards handy and stick around.
BFM News.
Atamaria, good morning. Ko Joe Toko Ingawa Koti Waru Karaka. It's 8 o'clock. Companies involved in the Whakaare White Island eruption have received government funding. The tourism companies received almost $1.4 million from the Emergency Recovery Fund, but lawyers representing the victims are disgraced by the funding. The 3 companies that received the most funding have since been prosecuted by WorkSafe for health and safety breaches before the eruption. Small Business Minister Stuart Nash says that the funding was made according to eligibility criteria. Exporters are concerned that trade may suffer from hacking accusations of China. Yesterday, New Zealand joined the United States to call China out for sponsoring international cybercriminal activity. But trade repercussions are a big concern for many New Zealand businesses. Export New Zealand Executive Director Catherine Beard hopes that we can voice concerns while continuing to supply each other's markets. Since June last year, China has consumed more than $19 billion worth of New Zealand exports. Over to international news, the rollout of the Pfizer vaccine has begun in the Pacific territory of Tokelau. Tokelau, who have yet to record a COVID case, received its first vaccine delivery on Monday. The vaccines were delivered by a naval ship from Wellington after a 6-day journey from New Zealand. Vaccinations for Tokelau's population of 1,500 have since begun for people older than 16. The vaccination program is expected to end on Thursday. And Jeff Bezos has successfully launched into suborbit in his new Shepard rocket ship. The mission saw the crew fly 100 kilometers above Earth for 10 minutes before returning safely from orbit. The flight represents a new era of private commercial space tourism, with other billionaires such as Elon Musk hoping to dominate the new industry. However, critics argue that the money could instead be spent on pay rises for their employees or fighting climate change. And that's the news.
Now, your 95 BFM traffic report.
Kine waka harere o ngā hui nui o Matua o Tamaki Makaurau mo te whetū karaka, your traffic for 8 o'clock. On State Highway 1, northbound is clear and southbound slower from Consolation to Esmond. On State Highway 16, expect some delays from St Luke's to Great North Road if you're heading eastbound. and westbound is clear. And on State Highway 20 northbound, expect some delays around Dominion to Queenstown Road. And southbound, there is some heavy traffic from Maiuru to Queenstown Road. There is a car fire on the southbound Nielsen Street off-ramp, which has reduced visibility for drivers. So make sure to watch your following distances and stay safe out there, listeners. And that's your traffic.
That was your 95 BFM traffic report.
A 95 BFM weather update.
Ane nā tohu huarere mo tēnei rā. Here's your weather forecast for Rapa, Wednesday the 21st of July. Increasing cloud with some rain and showers developing, becoming heavier later on. Fresh northeasterly winds turning northwesterly with a high of 16 degrees and an overnight low of 11 degrees. Sunrise today was at 7:30 a.m. and sunset will be at 5:30 p.m. Outlook for the rest of your working week. Rapare Thursday, mostly cloudy and warmer with some showers. And Ramare Friday, mostly fine with increasing sunny periods. And that's on news, traffic and weather. I'm Joe and the time is now 8:03.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
That was a 95 BFM weather update. Thanks to climate change.
It's the 95 BFM Surf Report, thanks to Pro Gear Professional Photographics.
Morena Will, how's it going?
Kia ora, Rachel. Yeah, I'm good. I feel like I might sneeze at some point during the surf, so hold fire to that one.
Now you've said it, it'll never happen.
Yeah.
What's happening in the surf? Anything good?
Yeah. One of those. Yeah, we've got those variable northerly winds today, sort of starting off in the morning as a northeaster, which means good things for our west coast peoples. Although that swell was meant to build a little bit into today, and it hasn't as much, but it should. I'm gonna hold fire from saying definitely, but
Okay.
It looks like it's going to build a whole bunch into tomorrow, with those nor'easters turning more northerly, which means sort of your best chance to get a surf out west is early today. It's going to get progressively worse from here on out. There is some surf for you. Just watch those winds. High tide was pretty early. Low tide sort of 12:55ish, if my memory serves me there. So we're going to give the West Coast a 6 out of 10, which is a pretty good score, given recent times. Kind of the opposite story on the East Coast. Swell's sort of easing off a little bit. We got less than 2 feet, and those northerly winds are doing us no good out there, so we're going to give that a 2 out of 10.
All right, well, thank you very much for that one, Will. Sounds promising, but we won't count our waves before they've crested. I don't know if that's a thing. But thank you.
That was pretty good.
Cheers, I'll take it. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Have a good one.
Sweet, cheers.
That was the 95 BFM Surf Report, thanks to Pro Gear Professional Photographics.
Atamarie e te whānau e whakarongo ana koutou ki te reo Irarangi. Iwa te Kaumarima BFM, this is Goat with Queen of the Underground. We're going to be diving into the Mind Trench with Rob Bollocks after this.
I go up when you go
That is Goat with Queen of the Underground.
Throughout our history, humankind has looked to understand the world around us, to define, taxonomize, and scientate. But some secrets have defied the cold scalpel of knowledge. These dark mysteries still reside within the Mind Trench with your guide, Rob Bollocks.
Morena.
Good morning, good morning.
How you going there?
Good. Now, before I get into this, I'm just going to ask if any suggestions from the listeners, because I'm finding it a bit difficult not talking about stuff that's so depressing.
Okay.
I mean, I can get away with it every now and again, but even it does my head in.
Help pull Rob out of the depressing internet spiral he's been on.
Things ain't good, and we all know that, but we don't need to
If you've
be
got
aware
any
of it all the
cool,
time.
weird stories that you think Rob should chase up, text them in 53995.
And no conspiracy theories, because I won't have nothing to do with them.
As per usual,
Yes.
no nonsense.
Right,
Thank you very
okay.
much.
Now, I was reading an article in the World Journal of Biological Psychiatry the other day.
Yes, you are a subscriber to that.
Yeah, I'll tell you, do you know the reason I buy it? The crossword and joke page.
Science jokes, they're the best
Yeah,
kind.
anyway, it's a study from the Lise Meitner group from the Environmental Neuroscience at the Max Planck Institute of Human Development
Okay.
in Germany. I love these people.
That was just a bunch of words, but I'm just going, yeah. Got
Well, I
ya.
was first drawn to them because his name's Max Planck.
Good name.
Because plank for me, is someone can be a bit of a plank.
Yeah.
So a bit juvenile, but it's got me into learning stuff, which is all good.
Good on you,
anyway,
Max.
They have done a study on the positive effects of walking on our health and mental well-being.
That feels like a very lockdown appropriate sort of thing, because we all did little wanders,
Yes.
you know? Had
Yes.
their little lockdown
Yes.
routes.
The researchers wanted to find out how this affects our brain, right? The researchers regularly